Welcome to Heidi Relationships. Today, we'll read some more stories from Reddit. But before we start, I would really appreciate if you could subscribe to the channel, like the video if you enjoyed it, and maybe leave a comment down below. That would help the channel a lot. Thank you very much in advance.
Wife cheated, parents disown her and I get engaged to the wife of her affair. Relationship insanity. The first one is titled, Cheat on Me? You Deserve What's Coming. This all went down about 5 years ago. Me and my then wife were married for about 3 years at that point. She came from a very conservative Christian family. Her parents never liked me because 1, I wasn't religious and 2, I share their political beliefs. They tried their best to convince her not to marry me, but to no avail. Looking back, I wish they had convinced her to not marry me. At some point during the marriage my wife began to withdraw intimately. We went from having intercourse 3 times a week to 3 times a month to once a month. She told me that she didn't really like having intercourse that much and that she did it mostly to please me. What I didn't know was that she didn't want to have that much intercourse with me because she was getting her D elsewhere. How did I find out? Well, my wife was using my laptop. Her laptop was being repaired, and accidentally clicked the Remember Me box on her email. I went to check my email and it redirected to hers. I saw every message she sent to this guy and basically confirmed that she was cheating on me. Like any sane person who realizes their marriage is over, I filed for divorce. Also, I alerted the other man's GF and she promptly dumped him. Now, like I stated before, her parents never really liked me. When they found out I was divorcing her, they went ballistic. Apparently she lied to them and said that I cheated on her. I kept getting hateful emails from them every other week. After our divorce was final, I told her parents that she cheated on me and sent them proof. Her dad emailed me saying he was sorry and that he's disappointed in his daughter. All I replied with was, well, now you know what kind of person your daughter is. Never contact me again. Neither of them has contacted me since. About a year after our divorce, I get a long email from my ex with the subject as thanks. I thought it would be some sort of thank you letter, but it was far from that. Some of it read like this. Thanks for making my parents hate me. Thanks for driving me to cheat on you. Thanks for ruining my life. That was the last I ever heard of her. Her parents disowned her, and she was the shame of the small town she came from. According to Facebook, she now lives in Australia, but considering she hasn't posted anything in 3 years, I might be wrong. Also, remember the GF of the guy my wife was cheating on me with? That woman is now my fiancé. I won, she lost. The next one is titled, My 26M. Married coworker, 30F, admitted that she's falling in love with me. I just started working with a great woman a few months ago and we started talking during our coffee and lunch breaks. We really hit it off and agree on a lot of things. Our backgrounds, our beliefs, our habits, etc. However, much as the title says, she's married. What's more, she told me that she's fallen in love with me in a way she hasn't with her current husband. She says there's nothing wrong with her husband, and that there is no hostility or resentment in her marriage, just that her husband's away from home a lot of the time, so there's a big gap in her life that's only filled when he visits her on the weekends. Or, in this circumstance, during coffee break with me. She finds me attractive. She says I'm very charming, and very captivating and emotionally supportive. She can't help but want to talk to me as much as she can. Let me make something completely clear. I do not want a romantic relationship with this woman. As much as I find her attractive and great to be around, I simply can't and won't start anything with her. Period. There are too many factors at play here and too many red flags for me to consider anything serious. She asked me point blank if I was in love with her. I replied by saying I might have been if she was single, but since she is not, I can't be in love with her, and so I'm not. Maybe in another life, but not this one. She has another family to take care of, and another partner in her life. When she confessed to me, I told her that as flattered as I am, I think she's basically crushing on me because she isn't seeing her husband much, to which she admitted and is aware of. All the same, she says she can't help but see me in a romantic light. I enjoy talking with her as a friend and don't really want to completely lose that, because she really is a wonderful human and it's nice to talk with someone you relate to, but I don't want to lead her on romantically or confuse her further. I told her to focus this romantic energy on her marriage and on her husband, to start seeing her husband the same way she sees me, convince her husband to change his work schedule if possible, and more importantly, just open up with him and let him know that she feels emotionally starved. For the time being, I told her that we shouldn't do anything drastic in either direction. We shouldn't start seeing each other after work and build on this, nor should we immediately cut off all contact and just forget about each other existing. I think either move would be less than ideal. The former choice would inevitably end in disaster, the latter would just be needlessly depressing. I told her to have faith in her own fidelity and her own integrity and realize that this infatuation will pass over, and to think of me more as a friend and a brother than any sort of romantic partner. If she continues to pursue me romantically, I am not against completely cutting off contact and limiting time together just to nip it in the bud before it gets out of control, but only as a last resort. However, my hopes are that eventually this crush will fizzle out and we'll continue to be friends that are able to enjoy each other's company without any hint of romance. My question for now, however, is if I'm doing the right thing or making the right choice. Should I swallow my own feelings of wanting to spend time with her, as a friend, and force distance between us at the cost of not being able to talk and relate with someone? Is my thought that exposure over time will dissipate this crush actually correct? Basically, what can I do to make sure this doesn't get out of control? Update. I just got off the phone with her Sunday morning. She called me to let me know how she's doing and asked how I'm doing, and I cut the bullcrap right away and said that we need space apart from each other and we can't keep seeing each other anymore. She agreed, and that was that. At least now I don't have to worry about what she's thinking about anymore, and I'm glad she understands. All I hope for now is that we all just move on from this and this doesn't bite me in the ass in the future. I also want to say thank you to everyone who told me everything that needed to be said. I had a really brutal time last night just trying to process all of this, and I'm still pretty aching and sore this morning. But I greatly appreciate everyone's input on this issue. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is way more helpful advice, way more honesty, and way more tender wisdom than I ever could have asked for. This colossal tsunami of care and support, despite being just text on a screen from distant and remote strangers, is so greatly appreciated that writing it out would barely do it justice, but I'm obligated to do so regardless. It's the least I could do to show my thanks. You reached out, and the sincere care behind your words was not lost upon me. It touches me deeply. It shows me that, despite this loss and this grief, there are still wonderful people out there, like hidden treasures in plain sight, willing to spend their time on this earth helping another person in pain, with no desire for anything in return, no motives but altruism and compassion. In a way, I'm so grateful all of this happened to me. I can see now the ocean of love that was around me all along, and I feel so very, very fortunate. Yes, it's cheesy, but damn it, it's how I feel. I can't wait to find more of you amazing people, to connect with and meet in person. I am filled with so much hope for the coming days ahead, and I couldn't have felt this way without your support. Thank you. The next one is titled, Meeting My Dad for First Time After Finding Out I'm His Affair Child. By accident I basically just made his married life implode. Well, I know it's not my fault, he's the one who chose to cheat and all. So, I grew up without a dad at all. Just me, 24M, and my grandma cause my mom left me with her when Jay was super young. My mom died over a year ago, so never got to ask her anything about my dad, and my grandma didn't know either. She just knew my mom said it was complicated with my dad, that even he doesn't know about me. Did one of a 23andMe, got matched with someone who my paternal uncle. Then it all came out because my dad was married. He told his wife about me and they're divorcing from what I know, but have chatted with my dad a little. He said he's sorry he wasn't there and would have if he knew about me. Thing is, he asked if we could meet and get to know each other. I said yeah, and we're supposed to go eat TMRW. But I'm like really nervous. IDK how I'm supposed to act or what we should be like around each other. Do I hug him when I see him? What do we even talk about? Am I gonna like him? Is he gonna like me? It would be cool to finally have a dad in my life. I never had someone like that for me before, but because of how everything started, would it even be possible for us? He said he'd really like to be part of my life, so I don't want to mess up our first meeting. Anyone got any tips for how it could go well? A user in the comments said, while the start wasn't ideal, he claims to have wanted to be in your life if he had known. He's making the effort now and I'm sure it's just as nerve-wracking for him. Meet him. Go with what you feel. If you want to hug him, go for it. If you want to shake his hand, do that instead. You're in new territory for both of you and the best thing is to start slow. Make a list of the questions you want to ask. He knows some will be hard to answer, so I'm sure he is prepared for the worst. Just go with what you feel comfortable with and build on that. You didn't implode his marriage. He did. He is at least mature enough to know that and is open to being a father like he should. I wish you luck. I hope it goes well and you finally have another adult in your life who cares for you. Keep us updated and just breathe. Another user said, be aware that because your mother is dead, your bio dad is perfectly able to indulge in some revisionist history. Maybe your mother didn't give her mother or you his name or other information simply because he was married, but there could have been other issues as well. One of my sisters got involved with a guy who swore his divorce was only a few weeks from being finalized. He was in his own place, and so she believed him. A few weeks turned into a few months and ultimately into, I can't afford to get divorced because of the financial hit it will cause. He'd been lying about some other things as well. She was pregnant by this time, and he wanted zero involvement. She shared all the details as things were happening with another sibling. When the baby was born, she didn't list the father on the birth certificate because he had flatly said he didn't want to be involved. My sister never told that child who the father was because she didn't want him to know that his father refused to be a father and never provided child support. Fast forward a few decades. My sister died. Her son decided to do the DNA search and found his bio dad. They arranged to meet, and let's just say, bio dad painted himself in the most positive light possible. Let's just forget the fact that he had contact information for my sister ever since her child was born, and never once asked about him. Described his relationship with my sister as them just having drifted apart rather than months and months of deception about his imaginary divorce that never happened. Go ahead and meet your bio dad, but don't assume that everything he tells you is necessarily true or accurate. The next one is titled, Update. Meeting my dad for first time after finding out I'm his affair child. Okay, so like the meeting went really great. Awkward as hell though. My dad definitely looked nervous as I was. He was there early, so he was the one waiting. I didn't have time to debate the, should I hug him or shake his hand? Lol, he kind of went for it and hugged me. Then he said sorry, he just forgot himself for a second. But I didn't mind. He looked really emotional when I got there. We sat and we ate. Like I said, super awkward in the beginning, we were both just quiet. He started asking me stuff and we went from there. Did the list thing like someone told me to ask him stuff I wanted to know in case I forgot? He was really chill with opening up about the affair. How he ended it with my mom because he didn't want to leave his wife for her. Problems he was going through back then. All his duck-ups. But he wants to make things right and should have been honest to his wife before finding out he had a kid. It went back and forth from casual chatting to deep serious topics. Learned a lot about him and he wanted to know everything about me. Felt like someone was interviewing me to make a biography on my life. He asks if I could send him some baby pics of me whenever I got the time, and then we took some pics together too at the restaurant. It freaked me out looking at a pic of us together because we look like total ducking twins. It's crazy. We have so much in common. He used to love writing and still does it for fun. I love writing too. Into the same music and cooking, both play guitar. I don't know, it's just wild the similarities, but I guess maybe I feel that way because we know now we're related. I'm really happy with how it all went. He was serious when he said he wants to be part of my life and make up for lost time. If I wanted to, him can help me with school or if I need to look for work. He's really chill and like he wants to be there. It means a lot to me having someone else like that. Time went by fast, so we're gonna meet again this weekend to do something else together. Guess we go from there. We hugged again when we said bye. This time I hugged him back. I've been in a really good mood from our time since yesterday, so I decided to take some time to write this out. Y'all helped me feel more relaxed, so I appreciate that. The next one is titled, After 4.5 Years. After 4.5 years, me, 24, and my GF, 23, had it made. 3-bedroom house. Just purchased her a brand new car for $35,000. I'm making really good money, and we had even been talking about her quitting her job so she could just take care of house, dogs, bills, etc. She is an extreme extrovert and I usually only partied on the weekends, but she wanted me to come to a work party of hers and I did. After about an hour there, everyone was plastered and I told her I was gonna go home. I just bought us some ecstasy though. She speaks. I'm like, I don't care, I gotta work in the morning. So I told her to stay and save the drugs for the weekend. She agrees, and I leave. Later that night, maybe it was even morning then, I wake up with a really weird pain in my stomach and something just felt really off. I was never jealous throughout our relationship, but I just knew something was up. I instantly just threw on my clothes and went downstairs to find her boning one of her coworkers in my downstairs bathroom. Sat and talked to this guy at the party only a couple hours prior. I just silently grabbed my keys and left. Found out she split the molly with the dude. Fast forward a few months, she's been trying to apologize and get me back for a while. I had remained friendly with her but had a lot of pent-up anger. She wanted to take me camping and work things out. I agree, I knew she genuinely wanted me back. I then went on that camping trip with the sole intention of making her fall madly in love with me all over again. And I think I succeeded. I was the most loving, fun guy that night, and she definitely could tell I grew since the breakup. Then we leave and go back to our homes, and I blocked her off all social media and never talked to her again. IDK how I feel about what I did. I went on that camping trip just to get back at her. I mean, I felt really good after I did it, but now looking back, was I being petty? Probably yes, but before that point I felt really crappy. Now I'm completely moved on. Hopefully I can still trust my next girlfriend as much as I did her. This is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed the relationship stories. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video and write a comment. I really appreciate your support and it helps my channel so much. Thank you.